didn't know that was in the Bible. Today's topic is the end times. Are we there yet? Now, what I'm planning with this is a series of episodes that will deal just with that question, the end times. And the reason I've done that is because I've had many people ask me, do you think we are in the end times? Again, based upon all the events that are happening today in this world. And my answer is pretty simple. It's basically, we don't know. We don't know exactly. But we do know that we're in the season. Now, let me explain. And we're going to use Jesus' words in doing so. So if we turn to Matthew 24 and we look at verse 36, it reads, "No one knows about that day or hour, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father." Now, the next portion of this, though, is the fact that about the seasons and dealing with the season and knowing about those seasons. And so I want to refer here to Matthew 24, verse 3, first of all, to emphasize the fact of what Jesus is speaking about in this particular section of the Bible. As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. "Tell us," they said, "when will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age?" So now we know what the subject is in regards to this. Now let's drop down to verse 32, and it reads, "Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that is near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will certainly not pass away until all the things that have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away." And this again is in the same chapter, chapter 24, which is talking about the end times. And Jesus does go through and gives pretty much an outline of what we read later on in the book of John, in the book of Revelation. And we find not only in Matthew 24, but in Mark 13 and in Luke 21. We also, in detail, we get something in the book of Daniel, as well as many of the Old Testament prophets. Now, what I plan to do in this series, and this is, again, I should mention, in preparation for a class that I am planning and hopefully will be able to teach at our parish this coming summer in detail, which is the book of Revelation. But in preparation for this, I decided that I would put this series out because of the questions that are out there in regards to the end, to basically, I won't say outline, but maybe pick out the highlights from some of those books and sort of guide you through what are some of the signs of the season, of this particular season that Jesus is speaking about. Now, what do we mean by season, basically? Well, we mean that there will be different signs that will tell you that we're on that path leading to the end. And I do believe that there are a lot of signs out there right now that point to it. But again, we don't know when the actual moment will occur, as Jesus said. That moment is only known by the Father, not the angels, not the Son of Man, but the Father himself. So it could mean that we will see these signs and it can go over a longer period of time, or it could be a short period of time. We really don't know. And if anybody claims to know, then basically they're lying, because again, Jesus teaches us that we won't know that. But he does teach us that we will know the season. And so in this lesson that I plan to teach during the summer, and even here with some highlights that I'll be talking about in the coming series of videos, I will be talking about those various signs of that season that will lead up ultimately to the coming of Jesus Christ. Now, I will, in this particular, because I do like to keep these short, In this particular episode, I did want to mention one of the major signs that we are seeing today. And that comes from the book of Revelation as well as the book of Daniel. Now, on this particular series that I have, if you look through the channel, you will see that I have an in-depth study of the book of Daniel, starting from chapter 1 all the way to the end. Each one is an episode. Each chapter is an episode. So if you want to get more detail in regards to the book of Daniel, you can go ahead and look this up on my channel and you'll be able to follow it. But for now, in the book of both Revelation and the book of Daniel, there is some indication that at the end there will be what is a one world order, or a globalist type government that will be present. And of course, I think we are seeing that today. We are seeing that we are tending more and more towards this one world order, or this sort of globalist or world government that is going on. Now, in the book of Revelation, the Apostle John sees the beast, who is also called the Antichrist, which means instead of Christ, rising out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, the imagery of the sea means the people. So we have this beast that is rising from out of the people, and it has 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, we're basically talking about 10 horns indicates powers. So we are talking about, in combination with Daniel 7:16 through 24, we are seeing some sort of world system that will be inaugurated by the beast, who is the most powerful, quote, horn or power, who will defeat these other 9 and will begin to wage war against the Christians. So there will be this 10-nation confederation, which we also see in the image that is brought forth in the book of Daniel. Now, the 2 areas, if you want to check it for yourself, that I'm referring to is Revelation 13:1, that begins, it says, that I saw a beast rise out of the sea with 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 diadems on its horns and blasphemous names on its heads. And so you put that in combination with Daniel 7:16 through 24, that says, I approached one of those who stood there and asked him the truth concerning all this. So he told me and made known to me the interpretation of the things. Okay. Let's drop down to verse 23. Thus he said, as for the 4th beast, there shall be a 4th kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms, and it shall devour the whole earth, and trample it down, and break it to pieces. And of course, here we can see this one world system that is being brought out in Daniel. And as for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be different from the former ones. So here we have the mention of the 10 powers, the 10 kings that will be in power with the beast at this particular time. And then it goes on from there. So again, we are seeing this sort of amalgamation of nations where they're trying to go more towards a globalist or one world system. So that's one of the signs that is leading to the end of our age. So I know it's probably a lot to digest all in one little quick video, but I hope to break it down in further videos as we move along. So as I've always asked, I hope you enjoyed this. Please give a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Also, subscribe. Subscription, it doesn't cost you anything. And also, you won't be bothered in any way. It isn't that we get your email address or anything like that and bother you with a lot of literature. All that does is it just alerts you whenever the next video is up. And since I think this is such an important topic, I think that you would probably be interested in hearing what more I have to say about it. So again, I thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful week. And thank you again for letting me in your home, and may God bless. Thank you.